Englisch und wir hatten auch unsere Stargäste hier. Wir haben Brian Knox, Producer für Aion, aus Seattle eingeflogen und Lani lived Blazier. Den nächsten den weiten Gang Associate Producer, um es nochmal zu nennen. Und die werden euch jetzt eine Demo in Englisch geben. Und mal, so ich weiß nicht, sogar eine Weltpremiere, glaube ich, die beiden hier zusammen als Duo eine Demo. Und das Ganze zeigen wir auch auf Facebook. Das ist halt interessant, weil Facebook auch weitestgehend auch englisches Gebiet ist. Das heißt, wir jetzt eine live gestreamte Demo ins Netz machen. Ihr seid sozusagen die Live-Gäste vor Ort. Hier sind die Kameras überall. Und die beiden geben jetzt der ganzen Welt mal noch eine Aion-Demo. Nochmal einen herzlichen Applaus für die beiden. Und dann gebe ich das Mikrofon mal ab. Dankeschön.
All right, I'm gonna have to stand back here and actually watch. I've done this about 100 times, but not with somebody else driving. Generally, it's
You can
me.
also see it on these ones.
Oh,
Tricky.
technology. All right, so we've got our two class selections here, and our driver is going to go into character creation, and we're going to kind of start by introducing you into the 1.5 version for Aion, which is going to be our open beta and live version. So if you can see right here, we got the Elios. We're going to go on in. And the first thing we got as far as feedback was people wanted even more character customization options. And for us, we were just like, really? More? And so we added in a bunch of pre-defaulted, more Western style faces so that players can actually kind of see as a basis and then build off of there. We actually added in the ability to, Afros equals Western. So that was the main feedback. Thank you. We added eye color as well. We still have all the normal default sliders that, you can change it to whatever you need to be. We've also added a couple more body sliders as well, specifically in the arm and leg length. I guess our dwarfs were not dwarf enough. And so now we are luckily able to make even shorter characters. And it's actually kind of funny then, if you adjust the height up a little bit, there you go. Go all the way there and then make short legs and be tall. There. Nice. So we're going to go ahead and name this character, and we've gone with a Western naming convention with a capital letter and then lowercase afterwards. It was kind of a little out of control in some of our beta events with the names, and it really kind of took you out of things. So we wanted to, draw you into the world as much as possible. So go ahead and hit create. Okay, so this is the area that a lot of you guys have seen. Prologue video. Yeah, so we're not going to spend too much time here, but we're going to point out some of our tutorial videos. And so we've used full motion video for tutorials, so some of the new players can get in a little bit easier instead of having to read these walls of text. They'll actually be able to just see things in action. That video right there is demonstrating WASD movement, and we've taken that a step further, and we've actually changed it to where the key bindings for the Western version is actually going to be left mouse click to mouse look, as well as disabling click to move. That was actually our #1 requested feature of everything, and by far one of the easiest things to implement for us as well. So we're pretty lucky to, that you guys weren't too difficult on us. So if you walk straight ahead, you'll see a guy right here, given a normal quest. Talk a little bit about the quest writing. We've gone through a few different rewrites. I think at least 3 to 4 times since the Gamescom in Leipzig last year. And we just weren't satisfied, so we kept going and going until we think we got things right. And we have 14 writers on staff now, many of them published fantasy authors. A couple of the guys did some Dungeons and Dragons books, and we have some people from the Guild Wars team as well that have really helped out. And we really think we've got some solid writing for everybody that's really interested in the story of Aion. So we're going to go ahead and log in a higher level character now. So kind of show you some of the cooler new stuff of 1.5. And so 1.5 is really important to us because it's kind of the culmination of everything that we've been giving as far as feedback. When we launched the version in Korea last year, we actually had a few months where we really polished it for that market, made sure that they had everything that they needed, and then we started our concentration to make sure that we had everything we needed over here. And that included a ton of different changes I'm going to go over here. But we wanted to make sure that when we launched well, and we launched polished and with plenty of content. And we think that launching with 1.5 actually kind of does that for us here. Okay, so we're kind of a little beefed up here, so you probably won't see these kind of stats or numbers ever again. But we're in the Abyss, and we're actually in the core of the Abyss. And in the Abyss is 9 capturable fortresses. And we've actually added instances to these fortresses that you can enter once you capture them. And so, it's just another incentive for you to capture fortresses, either PvE or PvP, or PvPvE. So we're going to go ahead and start with the cutscene that's going to introduce an instance. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the Aion, which is kind of like a warship of the Balar. And it comes in and, drops off baddies, basically. And we're going to watch an intro video right here.
I don't have to tell you, the destructive power of the Aion is enormous. So much so that it's well nigh impossible to get close enough to one to damage it. And once it drops its load of Drakan ground troops, nothing can stop the Balar from taking the fortress you just secured. The good news is, we've discovered a way to sabotage it from within. If we can get someone inside, we can disable the Aion and smash the Balar.
Okay, so now that we've seen the cutscene, we're going to teleport straight onto the Aion, which was the big battleship that you saw that was dropping the Balar down. All right, so as soon as we enter here, you're going to see this message pop up. It says prepare for battle. And basically what that means is we have 2 minutes, and you can see the countdown in the right top corner in red. And it's giving us 2 minutes to prepare, just to buff ourselves and get the right armor and weapons ready. An interesting, really cool thing that I know a lot of our players are excited about is our advanced stigma system. So of course we had the stigma system from before, and what that did was allow players to really customize their class. Aion is very much about customization. You can tell from just creating your character. We have mana stones, god stones, enhancements that you can apply to your weapons and armor, and then we have the stigma stones that really lets you customize your class so that you're not the same ranger as everybody else out there. Now with our advanced stigma system, is it open? Okay, I can't see. You can begin to apply these stones, and you can pick a path that you want to go. So for this particular one, we've chosen the bottom. So we've applied the stones that help us unlock the next one in the chain. And so now we have the ability to use that skill in the end there. All right, so the timer is probably, we've got 38 seconds. And so what happened, time just goes by slow.
Stall.
I know, right? So what's actually really interesting about this instance, and is kind of unique to our other ones, is that it's a 12-person instance, 6 Asmodeans and 6 Ilios. So you're going to actually be starting at 2 different points. And the objective is, you have 2 objectives basically. One is to do as much damage as you can to start collecting points. And if you can just pull up the scoreboard, you'll see that it's going to keep track of the score of the Ilios and the Asmodeans. So it's going to take your PvP kills, your Balar kills, and your captures. And I like to almost think of captures as capture the flag. So if you look on that map there, all of those red circles, or pink circles, mean that that area is occupied by the Balar. And once you go in there and take over the control point, then it'll change either green for Ilios or blue for Asmodeans, and that'll also give you points. So you're basically racing the other team to get to the end boss, as well as taking over those areas. All right, so the gates should be down now, and we're gonna stay invisible because there's only one of us and a lot of Balar, so we'd probably die. And let's just glide straight down there. And as soon as we get to the center area, you're gonna see one of those control points that you'll want to destroy, and 1 hit does 1 damage, so it takes a lot of manpower to bring that thing down, as well as fighting off the Balar, as well as watching your back for the opposing faction. And you can really look at this 2 ways. You can play more defensive if you want to try and just capture the control points and then get to the very end. Or you can try and sneak down and sabotage the other team. So I think every time you play this instance, it's going to play out differently.